Hey, man.
Hey, what's going on?
We got you. You know what time it is, don't you?
It's game time.
50-ish or so questions with Gabe Rench.
Let's do it.
You ready for this?
Let's do it.
Where you on the way to?
On my way to work at New St. Andrews College.
All right, we'll follow you there. Is that cool?
Yeah, let's go.
We get a tour of the college?
Let's do it. Maybe a little bit.
What do you do at New St. Andrews?
I am director of marketing, director of recruitment, and director of donor relations. 3 titles, too much work.
What does that do?
What does that do? What do I do?
Yeah, what
does that mean?
Yeah.
That means I message for the college, I go and speak at high schools and recruit for the college, and then I ask people for money.
What's the favorite thing about your job?
Man, besides working with Ben Merkel, I get to meet a lot of high school students. We get to build community here in Moscow, adding more Christians to the community through our college recruitment, and then being able to impact students' lives and through their education at New St. Andrews College. Yeah.
Why NSA?
Why NSA? Let's keep going this way. Why NSA? Well, NSA is a genuine liberal arts degree, and liberal arts views education as a transformation of heart, soul, and mind, not just a transfer of data between brains, and that's something that's been lost in our education system. And our education system also... What is that?
Oh, good. Okay.
What is that?
As long as it's not
it's
the
coming.
police.
It's coming our way. It's not for me. We got a black man recording a white man.
That's safe.
Yeah. And so,
nobody's stopping at the crosswalk,
Okay.
so
All
I'm not trusting you to walk around. They might stop for you, but I don't think they'll stop for me.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
All right, we'll make it work.
Yeah. So where was I at?
So NSA, why NSA?
Why NSA? Oh, and then our education culture, our philosophy, our culture, our vision of how we view education in society is that it's supposed to train us to get a job. That's a slavery mentality. And so the liberal arts degrees teaches us to think, teaches us to take dominion, teaches us to process, reason, and critically understand what's going on in our society. And that's something we're raising a generation of people who can't think, who can't reason, and are highly emotional. That's what happens when you get Ben Shapiro showing up on UC Berkeley campus.
Who's your favorite co-host on Cross-Pollitic?
Oh man, it's gotta be Toby.
I won't take that personal. What is something that you think is especially important for moms to know?
For moms to know.
Yeah.
That what they're doing, there's a letter, there's a big news article, Ronda Rousey, I believe that's how you say her name. She's got a big WWF contract with WWF wrestling. And that's what everyone looks at that as praise. Oh, look at everything she's accomplishing. Look at all the fame that she's going to getting. But all that is just a woman becoming more masculine. And so don't get lost in all the buzz, all what the world is trying to teach you. Stay at home, raise your children, love your kids, and raise kids to be in the kingdom.
What's the best book you've ever read?
Oh man, the best book? G.K. Chesterton, Orthodoxy.
Got it. Good.
Is that a good one?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Is that a good one?
Good. What's some specific ways to teach your kids how to love the standard?
You love it first, and you work and you show your wife and your kids how to obey that standard, how to love that standard.
They let black people in here?
Yeah, they do.
Okay,
this
cool.
is an all-purpose college.
All right. I'll follow you.
All right, let's go this way. We're gonna go this way.
All right. I'll get somewhat of a tour. Cool. What do you think is the biggest risk, or the biggest? What's the biggest risk of the church today? Where can we take the biggest risk at for the church today?
Man, just speaking what we believe, preaching what we believe, standing up, having a backbone, is where we need to take the biggest risks, and we need to know what subjects we don't have permission to talk about, and talk about those subjects.
And what are those subjects you feel like we don't have permission to talk about?
Headship and submission, LGBT issues, transgender issues, taking responsibility as men in the church, leaders that are pastoring in the church who should not be pastoring in the church because they've been disqualified through sin.
Is cussing okay?
Yes.
Explain.
Explain. Well, God gave us language, and He gave us a very flowery list of words we can use, and it's all to be used to the glory of God and take dominion And we shouldn't be shy. Of course, our language should bless each other, but also should be truthful and honest. And we should take the bombs that God has given us in language to be able to use for his glory.
So what about the verse that says you should have clean speech?
Absolutely.
So how is cussing clean speech?
Well, I guess that's a question you'd also have to take it with Paul and how he talked about Jews and the church in Galatians chapter 5. How Jesus talked about the scribes and Pharisees. He wasn't using clean language in Matthew 23. So we have to be able to reconcile what we mean by clean when we're asking that question.
Hey, Gabe, that's scuba line.
What
are your thoughts on
Did I just get out of that question? Is that what happened?
Hey,
so this is the
who's
NSA
this?
library. Check around. This is the NSA library. Give
Cool.
a little scoop there.
Okay,
We got some merch.
all right,
Yeah. Lots of books. We got books downstairs too.
all right. I'm in.
We got old books, 1671.
Did you watch the State of the Union address?
Yes, I did. Oh no, I watched parts of it. I watched the highlights.
What did you think about it?
I thought that it's hilarious because when a Democrat president is up doing the State of the Union address, the Republicans stay seated on all his good points, and then when a Republican president's doing the State of the Union, the Democrats sit down on all the big points. But what the Democrats were sitting down on this State of the Union was like black people's wages going up.
Did you have to pick the stairs for us to take?
Yeah. Watch
Does
it.
NSA have library elevators?
No, NSA does not have an elevator.
Cool. What's your favorite C.S. Lewis work?
Oh man. Well, right now I just finished Fort Love's yesterday. That was a really good book, and I'm reading Grief Observed actually today. So I guess what I'm currently reading from him.
What are your thoughts on men playing sports?
On men?
Yeah. Good, bad?
It is a great way to watch more stairs.
I got it.
Yeah, you got it. Men playing sports is a great way to teach men how to be strong, how to be disciplined, and how to be emotionally balanced. Welcome to my office. Check it out.
Cool.
This is my buddy Elijah,
Hey.
my computer intern Elijah.
Hi, Elijah. How many years you been here at NSA?
I'm a junior, so 2.5.
2.5 years. You like
Junior.
it?
There you go.
Recommend it?
Oh, totally.
This is becoming a promo for NSA now.
What does biblical immigration look like?
Well, a couple things. One is we should welcome immigration. We should welcome the stranger within the gates, arms wide open, especially if they're fleeing countries where God is not being honored and there's significant oppression. But I also think our nation doesn't even have categories for being able to process what true immigration should look like. So,
What's your biggest hero of the faith outside of Jesus?
I would have to say that Pastor Wilson has had a huge impact, probably one of the biggest impacts on my faith in my life. So, yeah.
The best Bible devotional for kids under the age of 5 or around the age of 5.
Best Bible devotional?
Yeah.
Mom and Dad.
Best barbecue outside of Texas.
Oh, best barbecue. Arthur Bryant's Kansas City. That was good. That was quick.
How do you balance your hope for spiritual growth in yourself, spouse, children, and church, etc.?
First pursue holiness with God yourself. Pursue a relationship with God yourself. And then what God puts in you is what flows out. Nothing can flow out that's not in you. So.
What's your wife's name?
Annie.
How long you guys been married?
We're going on 13 years in March, man.
How many kids you guys have?
We got 3 kids.
Ooh.
We got a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and my boy is 3. So.
Explain your wife in 3 words.
My wife in 3 words. Loyal, hard worker, athletic.
So what are you reading right now?
I'm taking an elective class on C.S. Lewis with Doug, Pastor Wilson, so I'm reading a bunch of C.S. Lewis. I'm also taking a film critic class with Nate Wilson, so I'm reading like Brian Godawa, Hollywood films. I'm reading, I think it's Save the Cat. I'm reading some scripts, movie scripts, Juno's movie script. Yeah, there you
go. What's your favorite movie?
Here's Grace. Say hi to Grace.
Hi, Grace.
This is one of my recruiters.
Hey, cool. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I don't have a favorite movie. I'm not a movie critic in that way.
Do you watch movies?
Yes, and we probably watch. Well, yes, we watch a lot of movies, but we probably watch also a lot of stand-up comedy. Me and my wife love stand-up comedy.
Is it okay for Christians to watch rated R movies?
It depends.
On
the narrative, the story, the redemption in it, where the author is taking all that evil and what he's doing with the evil in the film, and is redemption coming through it all.
What's your favorite biblical resources?
My favorite biblical resource?
Yeah. Sis.
Sis, hey, here's Tim Griffith. We're gonna make Tim get on film here. Tim, say hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Tim. What do you do here?
What do I do here?
Faculty.
Right.
That's right.
Latin Greek.
Is Gabe all right?
Yeah, he's all right.
We used to room together.
It's hard to record.
In college.
It's hard to record when he's in the building or in a building nearby.
Thanks, Tim. Bye.
So these are all our faculty offices. We just walked through back there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. This is like a spot for NSA.
Yeah.
What's a good book to read on the subject of paedobaptism?
Paedobaptism to 1,000 generations. I think I just nailed that one. That was off the top of my head. I nailed it.
What's the best advice your father ever gave you?
Maybe not. Okay, this is not maybe not. It's advice, but in the form of discipline. When me and my brother were maybe 13 and 11, we went out. There's this big football stadium behind our house. Did I mention I grew up in Texas yet?
No.
Have I mentioned that? And there's a big football stadium behind our house in Garland, Texas. And we went out there and started throwing rocks at the guy mowing the yard on the big tractor, and long story short, he caught us, brought us home to our parents. We had to, confess our sin and all that stuff. As a punishment, my dad made us read the book of Proverbs and record it on cassette tape. Like, we had to record it so Dad knew we read through all of Proverbs, and then we had to memorize 10 Bible verses, or 10 Bible verses in Proverbs, and then say it to Dad. So we were grounded until that whole punishment, or until all our homework assignment was done. But what that taught me is that Dad cared far more about us growing in wisdom than spanking or disciplining us because we were throwing rocks at some guy mowing a yard and everything. So that was the best punishment that Dad ever disciplined, that Dad ever handed down to us.
What's the best advice your mother ever gave you?
I would say she lived a life of showing us what love and forgiveness looks like. And so it wasn't so much advice as that she, go the story of the history. Mom just taught us how to love and taught us how to forgive and lived it out.
What's the hardest thing you ever had to learn in your life?
Hardest thing? How to be a husband.
Why was that so hard?
Should we go up here?
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah. So we're going into the administration wing.
All right, more stairs.
We're going more stairs. I'm kind of administration. I'm staff here, but this is where things get serious.
Okay.
All right.
Why was it so hard to learn to be a husband?
Why is it so hard? Because men are born sinners, and we want to be lazy like Adam in the garden, and we have to learn how to live with someone who's not us.
Who do you think are the best thinkers of our time?
Best thinkers. I'd say Pastor Wilson, Doug, hands down. We're going into St. Bridget's. I'd say Pastor Wilson. I think there's a lot of young men who are up and coming, who the church could really learn a lot from.
Like?
I think Toby. I think Toby, hands down, is one of them. I think Jason Farley, who blogs for us. People don't know. Jason's got a lot, I think, to bring to the church. Yeah.
If you could write a book, what would it be about?
If I could write a book, it'd be about our engagement with culture and politics, and how the church has failed.
Who would you want to interview on Cross-Pollitic?
Well, besides Jordan Peterson, who he failed to finalize, failed to get that one finalized, I'd like to have President Trump on. I think Mike Pence would be a lot of fun. I would love to, I'd love to get like Stephen Curry. If anybody has his contact info, just hit us up.
Top 5 music albums.
Top 5 music albums. Oh man, this is gonna go way back. Tribe Called Quest, Mumford and Sons. I love me some Brad Paisley. I'm kind of showing you my eclectic. Yeah, we went from Johnny Cash. I love Johnny Cash. Has got a great album on his mom's favorite hymns. I love it. I teach a lot of my kids that album. Play guitar to it and sing with my kids. And one more. What'd be one more? Well, let's just be done with that. I'll give you 4.
What is your best argument against atheism?
Why not? Who is? Why could we? What can you do? What can we not do? Given there is no God in heaven, given there no hell below, what can we not do? That wasn't very good.
You want to try again?
No, let's go on. Let's be done.
Say, read a book.
Yeah.
What are the idols of modern day America?
Idols, man, individualism, and our feelings, and wanting to be able to do what we want. We probably idol of self. You know.
If Jesus walked in our churches today, what tables would he flip over?
Ooh, probably the coffee bar as he walks into church. And then probably, I think, a lot of the sentimentalism that's in our worship service.
What is the gospel?
The gospel. I think my favorite way of talking about this question is that God is a father who comes into an orphanage, but it's the orphanage where everyone is dead out in the back, buried in the backyard at that orphanage, and he raises those dead bones and adopts us all as children of God. And at no point did we deserve it, and at no point were we able to do any of it ourselves, and that God is far more gracious and far more powerful than we realize. And I like that analogy, that God goes into an orphanage out into the back where the cemetery is at and raises up and adopts us all as children.
Do you think America's too far gone?
Yes and no. There's about 75 million evangelicals in the U.S. And right now, what is being pushed on us is coming from about 2% of the liberal agenda is about maybe 3% of the population, the extreme liberal agenda that we're getting. And so if evangelicals would just repent today, that would look like taking your kids out of public school. That would look like genuinely wanting to disciple your children. That would look like involving, connecting to a church, worshiping God in spirit and truth. If just conservatives, if just evangelicals would do that today, I think our nation would turn around tomorrow. It took 60 million votes to get Trump in office, and there's 75 million evangelicals in our country. So I don't see that happening. I don't see repentance happening in the church because we don't see ourselves like we should.
Thanks, man.
Hey, man, it's time for me to go to work.